What if everything you've told yourself this year has been a lie? The stories you've convinced yourself are reality. They're not walls, they're cages. And the key to breaking free? It has always been in your hands. There are three things that cannot stay hidden for long: the sun, the moon, and the truth. But right now, you're drowning in a sea of half-truths. I'm fine. I'll change tomorrow. This is just how life is. But deep down, there's a shadow in your gut that knows you're lying. What story are you clinging to just to survive the day? This isn't just another self-help speech. This is a reckoning, because in 2025, the lies you've buried won't just haunt you, they will own you. That chaos you feel, the burnout, the exhaustion, the voice whispering that you're stuck. It's not bad luck. It's the cost of a life built on illusions. But there is a way out. Ancient Buddhist warriors mastered brutal principles to shatter self-deception, to strip away the illusions that keep people trapped. And if you take one thing from this moment, let it be this: stop lying to yourself. That is the key to every door. You wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and tell yourself the same old story. I'm fine. I'll change tomorrow. I don't have time. But deep down, you know the truth. You're stuck, repeating the same patterns, trapped in illusions you've built for comfort. Lies feel safe. They protect you from pain, from accountability, from the weight of truth. But what if I told you that every excuse, every false narrative, is a chain holding you back? The Buddha taught that suffering does not come from the world. It comes from the illusions we refuse to let go of. Your mind is a blacksmith's forge. What you pour into it determines what you become. And right now, you are feeding it deception, expecting strength. Imagine a blacksmith at work. He takes raw metal, full of impurities, and thrusts it into the fire. The heat is unbearable, but necessary. With every strike, he forges something stronger. This is what truth does to you. It burns away the comforting lies, the self-deception, the false identity you've built to avoid pain. It's uncomfortable. It's terrifying. But it is the only way to become unshakable. Ask yourself, what is the lie you tell yourself every single day? That you're too busy, that it's not the right time, that you can't change. The problem is not time. The problem is not circumstance. The problem is you choosing the illusion over the truth. And the moment you confront that truth, everything changes. Because truth doesn't just set you free, it shatters the version of you that was built on lies. Think about this. What is the real reason you haven't changed? Is it fear? Is it laziness? Or is it because deep down you enjoy the illusion more than you desire growth? Most people won't ask themselves that question. Most will continue living the same way, telling themselves the same stories, hoping things will magically change. But hope is not a strategy. Action is. And action begins with truth. Burn away your illusions. Step into the fire. Because only when the lies are gone can you forge the life you were meant to live. But let's go deeper. Why do we cling to illusions in the first place? Because the truth is painful. It forces you to admit your flaws, to confront your weaknesses. It strips away the comforting narrative that one day things will get better. The Buddha said that the root of suffering is attachment, and there is no attachment stronger than the one we have to our own self-deception. You might be thinking, but what if I fail? What if the truth is too painful? That fear is another illusion. Failure is only failure if you stop trying. The truth will hurt, but it will also heal. It will force you to take responsibility, to wake up from the dream you've been living in. Right now, you have a choice. You can keep lying to yourself, keep pretending everything is fine while your potential slips away. Or you can face the fire, forge yourself into something stronger. Finally live the life you were meant to. Because the truth is your greatest weapon. Use it. You've been conditioned to believe that time is on your side, that you can keep waiting. That change will come when you feel ready. But here's the reality. Time is moving, whether you act or not. And the version of you that exists right now, it will either evolve or fade into nothingness. Because here's the truth no one wants to admit. Life does not wait for you, and neither does your potential. Every day, you are either reinforcing your limitations or breaking through them. Every moment you hesitate, every excuse you make, every time you say, tomorrow, you are strengthening the very chains that keep you stuck. But deep down, you know that, don't you? You can feel it, the weight of waste. You drown it out with distractions, with excuses, with the comforting illusion that you have more time. But what if you didn't? What if this was your last chance to become who you were meant to be? Think about it. How much of your life has been spent in hesitation? How many moments have you let pass by because fear whispered, not yet? But if not now, then when? What exactly are you waiting for? Permission? A sign? A perfect moment? Those things don't exist. The only thing that exists is this moment, right now. And the only thing standing between you and the life you want is your refusal to take action. The ancient warriors understood this. They didn't wait for battle to prepare. They lived prepared. They trained when others rested. They moved when others hesitated, because they knew that hesitation is death. And though you may not be fighting on a battlefield, the war you face is just as real. It's the war within, the war between who you are and who you could be. And right now, every moment of hesitation is a battle lost. So what is stopping you? Is it fear? Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping into something unknown? But let me ask you this. Has fear ever protected you? Has it ever brought you the life you desire? Or has it only kept you small, hidden, and powerless? Because fear is not your enemy. Fear is your signal. It is the sign that you are standing at the edge of something great, something life-changing. But most people run from that edge. They retreat into comfort, into familiarity, into the illusion of safety. But what if you leaned in? What if, instead of running from fear, you ran toward it? Because here's the truth. There is no growth in comfort, no transformation in safety. If you want to change your life, you must be willing to leave behind everything that keeps you stuck. That means walking away from the habits that drain you, from the relationships that hold you back, from the environment that keeps you small. Because the reality is, not everyone is meant to come with you. Not everyone will understand this new version of you, and that's okay. Growth requires sacrifice, and the price of becoming who you were meant to be is leaving behind who you were never meant to remain. So, what will it be? Will you keep waiting? Keep watching time slip away while you tell yourself the same old story about why you can't, why you shouldn't, why it's not the right time? Or will you step forward? Will you finally take control? Will you finally decide that enough is enough, that you will no longer let fear, doubt, or hesitation rob you of the life you were meant to live? Because at the end of the day, it's not about what you say, it's about what you do, and the time to do something is now. You have spent too much time negotiating with yourself, convincing yourself that you need more time, more preparation, more proof that you are ready. But deep down, you know the truth. You have everything you need right now. The only thing you lack is the belief that you are capable. What if, instead of waiting, you acted? What if, instead of doubting, you decided that you were done letting hesitation run your life? The people who transform their lives are not the ones who have perfect conditions. They are not the ones who never feel fear. They are simply the ones who refuse to let fear make their decisions for them. Fear will always be there. Doubt will always whisper. The question is, will you listen or will you move anyway? Most people never realize that hesitation is a habit. The more you delay, the easier it becomes to delay again. Every time you hesitate, you train yourself to retreat. Every time you choose comfort over courage, you reinforce the mindset that you are not ready. But readiness is a lie. No one is ever truly ready. You become ready by moving forward. Think about the last time you put something off. You told yourself you needed more time, more knowledge, more confidence. But what happened? Did waiting make it easier? Did delay remove the fear? Or did it only make the challenge seem bigger, the hesitation stronger? This is the cycle that keeps people trapped. They wait, thinking that tomorrow they will feel different. But tomorrow comes, and they are the same. Nothing changes because they never changed. And a year from now, 5 years from now, they will still be waiting. Is that going to be your story? Or will you break the cycle? Because here is the truth. Every second you hesitate is a second wasted. Every excuse you make is a step backward. Every moment spent in self-doubt is a moment you will never get back. The time you waste now will become the regret you carry later. And regret is far worse than failure. Failure is temporary. Failure is a lesson. Failure is movement. But regret? Because the real tragedy is not falling down. It's never stepping forward at all. You think you have time, but you don't. You think you can wait, but time does not wait for you. The opportunities you have today will not be here forever. The doors that are open now will eventually close. And when they do, you will either be someone who walked through them or someone who watched them disappear. So what will it be? Will you let another day pass while you stay the same? Or will you finally step into the life that has been waiting for you? Because that life, that version of you, the one who is bold, confident, unstoppable, it is not a fantasy. It is not out of reach. It is already inside of you. It is simply waiting for you to wake up and claim it. But no one can do it for you. No one can force you to move. No one can make the decision but you. And the time to make it is right now. You already know what you need to do. You've known for a long time. That voice inside you, the one that tells you that you were meant for more, that you were not put on this earth to merely exist but to thrive, that voice has never been wrong. The problem is, you've been drowning it out with doubt, with hesitation, with the illusion that you have more time. But how much longer will you wait? How many more days will you let pass before you finally take the first step? The truth is, most people never make that step. They live their entire lives waiting for the right moment, the right mindset, the right motivation. But those who succeed, those who rise above the rest, they don't wait. They move. They act before they feel ready. They step forward when fear tells them to stand still. And because of that, they build a life that others only dream about. Right now, you are standing at a crossroads. You can either continue down the same path, repeating the same patterns, living the same story, or you can choose differently. You can break the cycle. You can refuse to let fear dictate your future. Because at the end of the day, your life will be defined by one thing: the choices you make when no one is watching. The choice to wake up early when your mind tells you to sleep. The choice to take action when doubt tries to paralyze you. The choice to keep pushing forward when everything inside you screams to quit. Those choices are what separate those who dream from those who achieve. But let's be honest, this isn't easy. If it were, everyone would be doing it. Everyone would be living their dream life. But most people won't, because most people are too afraid of what happens if they fail. But failure? Failure is not what you should fear. What you should fear is waking up one day and realizing that you never even tried. Because time is moving, and it is not waiting for you. A year from now, you will be a product of the choices you made today. 5 years from now, you will either be someone who looks back with pride, knowing that you fought for something greater, or someone who looks back with regret, realizing that you let hesitation win. And that choice is yours. So ask yourself, how badly do you want it? Because if you truly want it, if you truly desire change, if you truly want to step into the person you were meant to be, then you must act. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, no more waiting, no more excuses, no more lying to yourself that someday you'll get around to it. Someday is a myth. All you have is today. And what you do with today will determine the rest of your life. You don't need more time. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more permission. You need to decide, right here, right now, that you are done waiting, that you are done living beneath your potential, that you are ready to become who you were always meant to be. And when you make that decision, everything changes. Because the moment you stop hesitating, the moment you stop waiting for the perfect moment, the moment you start acting like the person you want to become, that is the moment your life begins to shift. So stop thinking, stop overanalyzing, stop wondering if you're ready. Just move, because your future is waiting. There is a moment in every person's life when they realize they cannot keep living the same way. A moment when they feel the weight of every excuse they've ever made pressing down on them. A moment when they see, with absolute clarity, that if they don't change now, they never will. That moment is here, right now. This is not just another day. This is a decision point, the moment where you either step forward into your power or remain trapped in the same cycle that has held you back for so long. Most people wait their entire lives for change to happen to them. They wait for the perfect opportunity, for someone to come along and push them, for motivation to strike like lightning. But that's not how change works. Change does not happen to you. Change happens because of you. Because of the choices you make. Because of the action you take. And if you are not willing to take that action, you will remain exactly where you are. Look around at your life. The results you see are a reflection of your past decisions. The way you think, the way you act, the way you move through this world, it has all led you to this exact moment. But if you want something different, you must do something different. You cannot keep repeating the same habits and expect a new outcome. You cannot keep making the same excuses and expect to progress. You cannot keep telling yourself that one day things will change while continuing to live the same way. Because one day is an illusion. It does not exist. The only day that matters is today. So ask yourself, what are you waiting for? A sign? This is it. The confirmation you've been looking for, the message you needed to hear. It's right here, right now. Life is not going to hand you your dreams. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to force you to rise. That is your job. That is your responsibility. The life you want is on the other side of fear. It is on the other side of hesitation. It is on the other side of every excuse you have ever made. And the only way to get there is to walk straight through everything that scares you. Fear has stolen too much from you already. Fear has kept you stuck, kept you small, kept you watching from the sidelines while others live the life you wish you had. But fear is not real. It is a story your mind has created, a lie you have told yourself so many times that you started to believe it. But what if, for once, you didn't listen to that voice? What if, instead of running, you faced it? Because here's what most people never realize: fear shrinks when you confront it. The moment you take action despite fear, it loses its power over you. The moment you stop letting it control you, you become unstoppable. This is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's not talent, It's not intelligence, it's not luck. It is the ability to act, even in the presence of fear. It is the ability to keep moving forward, even when doubt creeps in. It is the ability to trust that no matter what happens, you will figure it out. And you will. You always have. Look back at your life. Think of all the challenges you have faced, the things you thought would break you but didn't. You survived. You adapted. You overcame. So why do you still doubt yourself? You are stronger than you think. You are capable of more than you have ever imagined. But the only way to see that for yourself is to act. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop telling yourself that you'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised. The only moment you have is this one. So take it. Move, act, because your future depends on it. There is no turning back now. You have spent too much time waiting, too much time hesitating, too much time convincing yourself that you need more preparation, more time, more confidence. But the truth is, you have always been ready. The only thing left to do is step fully into the person you were meant to be. Think about the moments in your life when you felt unstoppable, when you moved without hesitation, when you didn't overthink, didn't doubt, didn't question your ability, you just acted. Those moments were not accidents. They were glimpses of the power that has always been inside you, power that has been buried beneath fear, beneath self-doubt, beneath the lies you've been told about who you are and what you are capable of. But those lies no longer have a place in your life. The version of you that stays stuck, that version is gone. The person who waits, the person who lets fear make their decisions, that person no longer exists. Right here, right now, you are stepping into a new identity, one that does not seek permission, one that does not hesitate, one that does not let fear dictate the course of their life. You do not need more proof that you are capable. You do not need more signs that you are ready. Look at everything you have survived. Look at everything you have already overcome, the challenges, the setbacks, the failures. They did not break you. They made you stronger. They prepared you for this moment. So why do you still doubt yourself? Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced the same fears, the same doubts, the same moments of hesitation. The only difference is that they moved anyway. They understood that courage is not the absence of fear, it is action despite fear. And now, that is your path. You will no longer let fear control you. You will no longer let hesitation rob you of your potential. You will no longer sit on the sidelines, watching, waiting, hoping that one day things will magically change, because you now understand that the only way things change is if you change. Every decision you make from this moment forward will determine the person you become. Every action, every choice, every moment of discipline, it all matters. You are either moving closer to the life you want or further away from it. There is no in-between. You can continue living the way you always have, making the same excuses, falling into the same patterns, waiting for the right moment. But you already know where that leads. You have lived that version of your life, and it has only brought you frustration, regret, and the haunting feeling that you are meant for more, but haven't done anything about it. So now you choose differently. Now you rise. Now you take control. No more waiting. No more second-guessing. No more letting fear win. This is your life. This is your moment. And from this day forward, everything changes. You have made it this far. You have confronted the truth, broken through the lies, and stood face to face with the version of yourself that has been buried under doubt and hesitation. But now comes the real test. Because change is not just about starting, it's about continuing. It's about waking up every single day and choosing to be the person you said you would become. It's easy to feel inspired in the moment. It's easy to say you will change when you're filled with motivation. But what happens when that motivation fades? What happens when life gets difficult, when obstacles appear, when the voice of doubt tries to creep back in? That is the true test of who you are. Most people do not fail because they are incapable. They fail because they are inconsistent. They allow their emotions to dictate their actions. When they feel motivated, they work hard. When they don't, they stop. But discipline is what separates the ones who succeed from the ones who don't. Discipline is showing up even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is pushing forward even when everything in you wants to quit. The world does not reward people who start. It rewards those who endure. This is why so many people never reach their potential. They get excited, they take the first step, they begin the journey, but then reality hits. The excitement wears off, the work gets hard, and they give up. Not because they couldn't do it, but because they let their feelings decide their future. But you are not like them. You have already made the decision that you are done with hesitation. You have already chosen to step into your power. Now, you must prove it. Every morning when you wake up, you have two choices: to repeat the same patterns or to break them, to stay in comfort or to embrace growth. And growth will not be easy. Growth will test you, stretch you, demand everything from you. But on the other side of that struggle is the person you were always meant to become. You must become relentless. You must become the type of person who does not quit, who does not wait for motivation, who does not need external validation, who does not allow fear to make decisions. You must develop an unshakable mindset, one that does not crumble under pressure, one that does not retreat when things get hard. Because things will get hard. Life will test you. Obstacles will appear. You will be challenged again and again to see if you are truly committed to the path you have chosen. And in those moments, you will have to decide, will you break or will you rise? This is where most people turn back. This is where most people make excuses. This is where most people decide that their dreams are not worth the struggle. But you are not most people. You have come too far to quit now. Think about the person you want to become. The version of yourself that is fearless, powerful, unstoppable. That person is not waiting for motivation. That person does not hesitate. That person does what needs to be done, no matter how they feel. And if you want to become that person, you must act like them now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because your future is being built in this very moment. The habits you create today, the actions you take, the discipline you develop, this is what will determine where you end up. And the truth is, no one is going to do it for you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to push you every single day. This is your responsibility. So what are you going to do? Will you keep waiting, keep hesitating, keep falling into the same cycles that have held you back for so long? Or will you break free? Will you wake up tomorrow and act, not because you feel like it, but because you have made a commitment to yourself? Because that is what it takes. That is the price of success. That is what separates the ones who dream from the ones who achieve. The time for hesitation is over. You have work to do. You've made it this far, but the journey is just beginning. The moment you decide to change is powerful, but the real challenge is in sustaining that change. It's in waking up every single day and choosing to keep going, even when no one is watching, even when progress feels slow, even when your mind tries to convince you that quitting would be easier, because it will try. Your mind will look for ways to pull you back into comfort. It will tell you that you've done enough, that you deserve a break, that maybe it's not worth it after all. It will try to negotiate with you, to get you to settle, to convince you that going back to your old ways wouldn't be so bad. And if you listen, if you entertain those thoughts, if you allow yourself even a moment of hesitation, you will slip. Not all at once, but little by little. You will find yourself back where you started, back in the cycle you swore you would never return to. And that is why you must guard your mind with everything you have. You must refuse to entertain excuses. You must refuse to let comfort win. You must refuse to be anything less than the person you know you are capable of becoming. This journey is not just about achieving goals. It's about becoming someone new, someone who doesn't quit, someone who follows through, someone who shows up no matter what, because that is what will separate you from the ones who give up. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because they let their emotions dictate their actions. They fail because they give up when things get hard, because they let distractions pull them away, because they allow the temporary discomfort of effort to outweigh the long-term pain of regret. But you already know what regret feels like. You've lived it. You've felt the sting of knowing you could have done more, that you could have been more, that you let fear and laziness steal time from you, that you will never get back. And now you are being given a second chance, a chance to break the cycle, to rewrite your story, to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. And this time, you will not fail. This time, when doubt creeps in, you will silence it. This time, when fear whispers that you should turn back, you will move forward. This time, when you feel like quitting, you will remind yourself why you started in the first place. Because here's the truth, this will not be easy. Nothing worth having ever is. The road ahead will test you in ways you cannot yet imagine. You will have days where you feel unstoppable, and you will have days where you feel like you are failing. You will face setbacks, challenges, and obstacles that make you question whether or not you can keep going. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. The ones who succeed are the ones who do not quit. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how slow progress seems, no matter how many times they fall, they get back up and keep going. And that is who you must become. Not someone who relies on motivation, but someone who is driven by discipline. Not someone who works when it's easy, but someone who works no matter what. Not someone who dreams, but someone who executes. And when you become that person, when you push past every excuse, every limitation, every voice that tells you to stop, you will look back one day and realize that you have built a life beyond anything you ever thought possible. But only if you decide, right now, that you are done waiting, that you are done hesitating, that you are done settling for less than what you are truly capable of. So move, act, push yourself harder than you ever have before, because no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you want. You must take it, and you must take it now. There are moments in life when you begin to sense that reality is not as fixed as it seems. Moments when you feel like something is shifting beneath the surface, like an unseen force is guiding you towards something greater. You can't explain it, but you can feel it. A pull towards something you don't fully understand, yet somehow it feels familiar. Perhaps you've noticed strange synchronicities, numbers appearing over and over again, certain names or places showing up in ways that feel too precise to be coincidence. Or maybe you've felt an unshakable knowing deep inside, as if you are waking up from a long sleep, seeing the world with new eyes. It's as if something or someone is trying to get your attention. And the truth is, they are. The world you live in is not as solid as it appears. Every choice you make, every thought you entertain, is shaping your reality in ways most people never realize. But there are those who do see it, those who have always felt different, as if they were meant for something more. If you are hearing these words, it is not by accident. It is because you are one of them. You were never meant to fit into the ordinary. You were never meant to follow the rules without question, to live a life dictated by expectations that were never truly yours. That feeling inside of you, the one that tells you that you are here for something greater. It's not just a thought, it's a message from the version of you that already exists in another timeline, in another dimension, waiting for you to wake up and remember. For centuries, mystics, philosophers, and visionaries have spoken of the idea that reality is not a single thread, but a vast web of infinite possibilities. That every choice, every action creates a ripple effect, shifting timelines, opening doors to new versions of existence. And what if I told you that you are already moving between these realities? That déjà vu, intuitive insights, and sudden shifts in energy are not random, but glimpses of the other versions of you that exist beyond what you can see. This is not just philosophy. Science is beginning to catch up to what ancient wisdom has known all along. Quantum physics suggests that the very nature of reality is fluid, that particles can exist in multiple states at once, that observation itself influences the outcome. If reality can shift at the quantum level, then what does that mean for you? It means that you are not trapped in a single version of your life. It means that you are not a victim of fate, but a creator of your own experience. And it means that if you can learn to align your energy, your thoughts, and your emotions with the reality you desire, you can step into the life that was always meant for you. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. What if the different versions of you across these parallel realities are not completely separate? What if they are connected? What if they are already communicating with you, sending messages, nudging you toward certain choices, guiding you toward your highest path? Think about the times you've had a sudden gut feeling, a strong pull towards something you couldn't explain. Think about the moments when you felt an overwhelming sense of déjà vu, as if you were reliving a moment that had already happened. These are not random occurrences. These are signs that you are tuning into something beyond the limits of time. There are versions of you who have already walked the path you are seeking, versions of you who have unlocked the secrets you are searching for, who have discovered the truths you have only begun to glimpse. And the more you raise your awareness, the more you quiet the noise of the external world, the clearer these messages become. Reality is not just what your senses tell you. It is shaped by energy, by intention, by the unseen forces that have been guiding you all along. And the moment you stop doubting, the moment you open yourself to the idea that you are capable of shifting, of stepping into a higher timeline, everything begins to change. But here's the most important part. You must choose it. Most people will never realize that they have this power. They will continue to live in the version of reality that was handed to them, believing that life is something that happens to them rather than something they are creating. But not you. You are waking up. And once you wake up, once you truly see the power that has always been inside of you, there is no going back. You will begin to notice the shifts, the way certain things no longer resonate, the way new opportunities seem to appear effortlessly, the way your thoughts and emotions start aligning with the reality you have always desired. This is not magic. This is the natural result of stepping into who you were always meant to be. And so, the question is not whether you are capable of shifting your reality. The question is, are you ready to embrace it? Are you ready to stop waiting for a sign and start realizing that you are the sign? Are you ready to step into the version of yourself that has already claimed the life you dream of? Because if you are, then something extraordinary is about to happen. The universe has been waiting for you to remember. And now, the choice is yours. There comes a moment in your life when everything you thought you knew begins to unravel. A moment when the version of reality you once accepted no longer feels complete, no longer feels solid. It starts with something small, maybe a feeling, an intuition, a repeated pattern that you can't ignore. And then, slowly, It grows. The signs become clearer. The whispers become louder. You begin to notice the way certain events align in ways that defy logic, the way people appear at the exact moment you need them, the way thoughts turn into reality faster than you ever believed possible. And that is when it happens. That is when you realize that reality is not something fixed, not something external that you are merely passing through. Reality is responding to you. It always has been. Every thought, every emotion, every belief you hold inside of you has been shaping the world around you in ways you never noticed before, and now you see it. Now you understand that you are not just an observer in this life. You are the creator of it. But here's the thing, most people never reach this realization. They move through life reacting, believing they are powerless, waiting for circumstances to change, waiting for something outside of them to give them permission to be who they were meant to be. But you are different. You are waking up. And with this awakening comes a truth that will change everything. You are not bound to one version of reality. Everything you have ever wanted already exists. Every dream, every desire, every possibility, it's all real, all happening, just on a different frequency, a different timeline. And the only thing separating you from the version of you who has already achieved it is alignment, not effort, not struggle, not years of waiting, just alignment. Because the moment you start thinking like that version of yourself, feeling like that version of yourself, making decisions like that version of yourself, you begin to shift. Reality begins to move around you, bending to match the new energy you are embodying. And suddenly, what once seemed impossible, what once felt out of reach, becomes inevitable. This is not wishful thinking. This is not blind optimism. This is how reality works. Look around you. Look at the people who seem to attract success effortlessly, the ones who seem to move through life with an unshakable confidence, as if they already know that everything they desire is theirs. They are not lucky. They are not chosen. They are simply aligned. They have already claimed within themselves the identity of the person who has what they want, and so reality has no choice but to reflect it back to them. And now, it is your turn. Because if you are hearing these words, if you are feeling this shift inside of you, it means you are ready. Ready to stop living in a version of reality that does not serve you. Ready to let go of the stories that have kept you small, the patterns that have kept you trapped, the beliefs that have convinced you that you have to wait, that you have to struggle, that you have to prove your worth before you can step into the life that has been calling to you all along. You don't have to wait. You don't have to earn it. You only have to decide. Decide that you are already the person who has what you desire. Decide that you no longer chase what is meant for you, because what is meant for you is already being drawn to you. Decide that you are no longer available for anything that does not align with the highest version of yourself. And then, watch what happens. Watch how life begins to shift, how opportunities begin to appear, how the people, the circumstances, the paths that once seemed impossible now unfold effortlessly before you. Watch how the things you once thought you had to force now come to you naturally, because you are no longer trying to change reality. You are stepping into the version of reality that was always meant for you, and once you do that, everything changes.